What's going on, guys? This is Bearded Squirrel Disc Golf. My name is Squirrel, and today we're going over my 2021 in the bag. First, let's talk about the bag. The bag is a dynamic discs cadet bag, and for beginners and intermediate players, I think is pretty good. I've had this thing about a year now, give or take, and it's held up pretty well. The only thing I see with it that is kind of an irritating factor is that it kind of smushes in on itself, especially if you have to set it down on a hill or some sort of wet grass or something like that. It will tend to fold in on itself. But other than that, it's been pretty great and pretty reliable. But I definitely want to get something better here in the coming future, the next few months. So first, let's talk putters. My Judge is my go-to putter. It has been since I got it about a year ago. It actually came with the cadet bag as well. And this thing has been amazing. Whether it's from 20 feet, 25 feet, 40 feet, it doesn't matter. This thing seems to just go in the basket. It doesn't matter where it's at. As long as my form is good and it's just back and forth, it's gonna go in the basket. I can't complain. I also use this as a throwing putter as well, especially for short courses. I have a bunch of short courses here around my area, and I use this thing for those courses especially, just because when I throw it, it just goes, and it goes pretty straight with a little bit of fade at the end, and I can't complain with that. Next are my 3 AVR putters. This one's the lightest of the 3 at 145 grams. Now, I don't really use this a lot on the course. I mostly use this for putting practice, but other than that, I don't really use it too often. This is the heaviest of the 3. Now, I will use this also for throwing putter purposes, and really nothing else than that. I don't really putt with this much, but it is great to throw off a tee. And finally, this AVR I do use for putting, not as much as my Judge, of course, but this comes in handy when there's some smaller baskets or ones that don't have a lot of chains in them. I find that this putter really comes in handy. Next is my mid-ranges, and first we're going to look at this truth that really I only use for rollers, and I only use it if, you know, I'm in a really tough spot, and the really only way to get out of that tough spot is with a roller. This thing rolls straight as can be, and so if you never try to roll the truth, go for it, because it really works. Next, I have my Champion Rock 3. Now, this thing I love throwing on forehand because it has a little bit of a fade at the end of the flight, and I love throwing this on some shorter holes, or something that is long, but I know I need to get around some trees or something of that nature. I love throwing this thing on forehand. It does the same thing every single time, and I can get some pretty great part shots with this thing too. Next, I have my regular Rock 3. Now, this I will throw backhand off the tee. Mostly I really use this for fairway drives and getting up and down to the pin. Now, before my Rock 3s were in the bag, I used this shark a ton. I don't really use it too much now, only because my Rock 3s I feel like are a little bit better than the shark. But I still use this from time to time to try to get up and down to the pin. Usually I try to get into circle 1, but you know, trees happen. So, but all in all, this is a really good mid-range disc, especially if you're a beginner and have really no experience throwing any kind of disc or anything like that. So yeah, I definitely say put this in the bag and use it when you can. Next up are my fairway drivers. The Escape is absolutely one of the greatest fairway drivers I've ever thrown. I throw this thing on forehand a ton with a little bit of a flick. I can get this thing to go straight as can be and fade right down, right inside the circle. Plenty of part chops with this thing. It's not getting out of this bag anytime soon. I do throw this backhand every now and again, sometimes to get up and down on a longer fairway shot to the pin, but mostly I throw this on forehand as well. This TBird is actually new in my bag. I've only had it a couple months. I haven't really thrown it too much because of it being cold. It's kind of hard to get out there and play a whole lot, but I do enjoy it for what I've thrown with it. Once I start throwing it more and getting out and playing more, I'll be able to know more what it can do and where I'm going to be able to throw it with. Now onto my drivers. I absolutely love Valkyries. It was the first driver I ever got and ever threw, and I can't get enough of it. I mean, it'll fly straight as can be, with a little bit of curve, and then it'll come right back down with a slow fade at the end. I mean, I've had no issues with it. I've enjoyed throwing it every single time, and it does exactly what I want. Now this one in particular, I like throwing on a forehand. My other Valkyrie that I have, I'll show you in a minute, I like throwing it on backhand most of the time. But this one I throw on forehand. I've parked this so many times, it's crazy, and it just seems to do exactly what I want every time I throw it. This is actually a champion Valkyrie, customly dyed from the Love Pump on Reddit. This thing is totally awesome. I've had a little bit of time to throw this, and from what I have thrown of it, it's phenomenal. Backhand, you know, I'm looking at 250, 300 feet, especially in the woods, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about the Valkyrie. It is my go-to driver, and every single time I throw it, I get great results. Last but not least in my bag, of course, the Destroyer. Now, I throw this a ton, backhand and forehand. This is obviously my absolute max distance driver that I have, and I mean, distance is just key with this thing. If I have a long hole and trying to get to the pin, or at least somewhat close, I'm bringing out the Destroyer, because I can throw it on a super hyzer, spike hyzer. I've done spike and hyzers with forehand with this, with great success. And I mean, it's just the jack of all trades of drivers, it seems like, as far as distance and control as far as that goes. So I can't complain with this. This is a great disc. I've actually had two of these. This is my second one. I lost the first one. So, and surprisingly, they sent me an orange one too, which was the first one I had too. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, the Destroyer is fantastic. I enjoy it. It's great. And if you haven't thrown one, you should. That's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for watching Bearded Squirrel Disc Golf. I am Squirrel. As always, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.